Welcome to the Self-Care 101 podcast with your host, straight-talking life coach, Puja McClymont. This show provides simple self-development, supporting you to embody your self-worth so that you can live the happier, more fulfilled life that you deserve without burning out. Thank you so much for listening today. Hello, it's season 2, episode 13. So it's a real talk episode. Now I know that the others are too, but this one might hit just a little bit harder because I know so many of us are feeling this way. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the pressures of achieving your life goals. You know, get your career, get it to a certain point, make the millions in your business, find the perfect partner, settle down, have the kids or have the pets, the holidays, the memories, the retirement fund, the holiday home, all by the time you're, in brackets, insert specific age goal here. Now, I'm not going to tell you that you can't have it all. Hell no. What kind of life coach would I be? But I am going to tell you that it might not happen the way you think it's going to happen. And that, my friends, is the biggest difference between those that do and those that don't. I'm also going to dive into a few more truths that you need to know because I want you to have whatever your heart desires, and I'll do whatever I can to help you get there. So let's get to it. Why are we putting so much pressure on ourselves? We know that society expects us, and in fact, through advertising, confirms that we need to do XYZ by XYZ date. But who wrote those rules? Who wrote those bloody rules? We know that family and friends have expectations of us. We also know that they want us to live the same lives that they're living. Now, some of this is good advice, and some of it, well, projection. But mostly it's advice. It's advice to hear and then to decide if it suits you. So what do you want? What do you want? We tend to get to a point in life where you've done the box ticking or you've been doing the box ticking successfully, but you're still not happy. The things that were supposed to bring you happiness don't. So then you go searching for it in another trip, a Prada handbag, or some lovely smelling bath products, because we're told that this face cream is going to turn back the clock and remove our wrinkles, which means we'll get the man now. We're told that to be successful, you need to work hard and save and work hard and be busy all the time. We're told that there is only one way to have a baby, and that if you want to do it another way, there's going to be 100 hurdles to jump, including ridiculous costs. We're told constantly that we should find happiness in a partner, but yet we can't seem to find the partner or the happiness when we do. So what's going on? What is going on? Pressure. I feel like bursting into song, but I can't remember. I think it's the Dr. Pressure song, the Gloria Estefan, if you're old enough, which turned into a house tune about 10 years ago, something. Anyway, sorry, I digress, but it just keeps me, every time I say the word pressure, I keep wanting to break into song. But pressure, let's look at pressure. All this pressure on my life. God, do I know this pressure? And, if you've been following me for a while, it's that pressure that led to my breakdown, that led to the depression, the burnout, the exhaustion, all the rest of it. So I am very passionate about this particular topic, so much so that I've actually started to shift a little bit within my coaching practice to focus on that, because I don't know, of late I've had so many people coming to me and everything they're saying to me is underlined by this pressure to achieve XYZ by XYZ date. And my heart is really breaking because a lot of the people that have been coming to me are really young, and I'm worried about young people because they're young. Why are they having these same pressures that we had? That's not fair. We're doing something wrong here as the older generation, and I want to help. So yeah, this is sort of the territory I guess I'm defining myself in, but it's feeling pretty good right now, so I'm sticking with it. Anyway, that was a bit of a tangent. I apologize. So let's talk about pressure. Now, I've just talked about it. You've got society pressure, you've got friends and family pressure, you've got advertising that backs up all that pressure. And, life is basically a linear exercise to death. And you know what? It's not. It's not actually. You can do whatever you want to do, but we are so conditioned. It's so ingrained, that fear of not having money, that we essentially compromise our dreams, our wants, our true passions, because we're supposed to be doing XYZ. We're supposed to be we're supposed to be fulfilled by a man. We're supposed to be fulfilled by this job that pays us 80 grand. But actually, no, it's not just as simple as that, Happiness isn't about that. We were painted the picture as children that happiness resides in people and things. But happiness obviously doesn't reside in people and things. I've talked about it 100 million times on this podcast, and I'll tell anyone who is willing to listen. Happiness resides within. So essentially, we have to teach ourselves as grown-ups, and I know this is a pain in the ass, but we actually have to teach ourselves how to be happy within ourselves. And at that point, everything starts becoming a lot easier. We start to really enjoy life more. We do start to be more present and in the moment, and not feel like we need to chase status or ego or anything else. We just genuinely just are happy. I'm going to tell you a secret. I had such a full 20s and early 30s, like really full, and lots of money and lots of success in my career and social butterfly, and life was great, and I was traveling and I had this gorgeous man on my arm and all the rest of it. But none of it was actually making me happy. Whenever I was alone, for whatever reason, if it was just, Dwayne, when he was my boyfriend, if he wasn't coming over one evening or for a weekend, then I'd be at home alone. I'd be like, oh, what do I do? I feel so alone. I feel so sad. And on reflection, I can look at it and go, oh my God, like to have that time back. But joking aside, it was very real. I felt alone. I felt loneliness. I didn't feel like I was connected. I didn't feel like I had anyone or knew what to do with myself. And I know that this is quite a current reality for many, many people, especially those who are single, because the landscape of dating is so different now. And I know that it's different and you feel like you have to join the bandwagon and do what's going on, but I assure you, you don't. There are still traditional ways of approaching dating. And if you're listening to this and you're single and you're like swearing at me right now, saying, what do you know? You've been with a partner for ages. Well, I wing woman with my clients. So let's go out. Book me for 1 hour. I'm not going to charge you. Buy me a drink. We'll go out and let me see the world through your eyes and see which opportunities you're missing or taking. And let's take it from there. Prove me wrong. Go ahead and prove me wrong. I am here for it all. And the reason why I say this to you is this. I am not as fit, as in like sexy fit, since, for like 10 years, I've not been sexy fit. Let me tell you the truth, right? So 2010 was the last time I was in myself, sexy fit, like literally batting the men away. And since that time, I have just felt less and less sexy, less and less confident about my looks and things like that, and stopped looking at men. I think I was supposed to stop looking at men because I met mine, but, I'm a Libran, we like to flirt. So interestingly, since I've been feeling crap, whenever I go out, I'm able to pull. Do people say that anymore? But I can go out and get chatting to a guy. I don't even need to go to a bar or a club, like literally meet someone on the escalator across the coffee shop or whatever, because I'm an opportunist and everything is an opportunity. You explore it. It might work, might not work. Either way, you lose nothing. You just give something a go. And I feel like, well, if I can pull and I'm married, and you are hot and sexy and everything else, you've got so much going for you, you can pull too, babe. So yeah, come, I'm up for the challenge. Anyway, big digression. This whole pressure thing, jarring. But it doesn't have to be this way. One of the other things I wanted to talk to you about is that it might look different, okay? This is probably one of the biggest things I want to talk about. I think I've talked about it before, but it might look different. So when I talk about you can absolutely achieve all the things that you want from your life, yes, you can, but you've got to start looking at it differently. You've got to accept that it's going to look different. It may not be that linear thing, that linear path that you think it's supposed to be. Education, career, house, car, money, kids, pets, whatever it is that's in your box ticking. It could be that you are having a baby on your own and then a man comes along in 10 years' time and you still grow old together, you still get the thing that you wanted, but you also got the other thing that you wanted. It's about not feeling the need to have it look the way you think it's supposed to. Stop feeling the need for it to look like that fairy tale that we all read. I never thought I was going to marry a black man. I never thought that I was going to get pregnant before I got married. God, no. I never thought that I'd be living with him. I never thought I'd marry someone who wasn't rich. I was really banking on somebody wealthy. I didn't get somebody wealthy. But what I did get was kindness, compassion, sensitivity, love. I can't tell you how much this man loves me, but he loves me in a way that I have not been loved by anyone except for my dad. Even my mother and I have issues. My mother loves me with condition. My dad doesn't love me with condition. And I can honestly say that Dwayne also doesn't love me with condition. It is pure unconditional love. And it's so safe and secure that I couldn't trade it for the world. Sometimes I've considered trading it for Amari Hardwick, who played Ghost in Power, because, those sex scenes, but short-lived, and he's married too. But, dreams aside, the man is great, and he is what I wanted. I wanted those qualities in a partner, and that's what I got. So he didn't look like that. My career definitely didn't look the way I thought it was going to look. I peaked in my career at the age of, how old was I? 34. I peaked in my career. I was like, yes. I feel like I've arrived now. I feel like really satisfied with what I've achieved. This is amazing. And guess what? It didn't fulfill me. After all that, it didn't fulfill me. It led to a breakdown. It led to so much confusion. It led to a career change. I was earning less than I had ever earned before after I had had my son. It was a whole new space. But the weird thing was, I was overweight, which I never wanted to be. I was pregnant out of wedlock, or even after when I had the baby. I had this guy, I had the house, blah, blah, blah. And, I was like, do you know the funniest thing? I can actually say that I'm happy. And that for me was a real eye-opener, because I thought to be happy meant the way I thought it was going to look, the way I thought my life was going to pan out. So, my life's obviously not over, but to that point, the way I thought my life was going to pan out in terms of a partner and kids and things looked completely different from the daydream. Completely different. But I wouldn't change any of it. Obviously, so many of us say it on the other end. I know you're cringing at me, but it's true. It did start looking different. And then what that did was help me shift my attitude towards the rest of my life. And by doing that, can I tell you, even in my sort of darkest days, like when I'm really in despair, super hormonal, hate the world, hate everything, totally ungrateful, I am still happy. It's, I'm giving myself permission to be miserable for those few days. I have to mark PMS in my calendar. It's that bad. Because otherwise, if I don't allow myself that time to sort of be miserable, I just sort of get myself caught up into my own emotional confusion. But by accepting that what I think the path is going to look like may not be the way it will look, it's just allowed me to enjoy life more. And I want to show you how to do that. It does make you more present. It does make you more grateful. It does make you more excited to see how the future unfolds rather than expecting the future to unfold the way you think it's supposed to unfold. And I'm going to say this to you: do it your way. Do it your way. Do it your way. I recently read that line in a book by a very high level coach, and the book was amazing. It's a coach's book, so I'm not going to recommend it, but it was amazing anyway, and very helpful to me. Gave me some really good insights into my business practice and how I wanted to be as a coach. I'm at a stage of growth right now as a coach. And he said, this is the structure of the way you could do it, but as you're doing it, you'll learn to do it your way, how it works for you. And that really resonated. And I thought, yes, do it my way. Now, growing up, doing it my way was rebellious. I was a troublemaker. I was always going to go, everyone's going right, I want to go left, because I just couldn't conform. This should have been a red flag for everybody when I was a kid. I just couldn't conform. And my whole career, my whole life up until this point has been, I do not conform. I just can't. Anyone will tell you I can't. I'm more for being happy than conforming to what you want me to be like. I just can't do it. And, that's turned into a superpower. Yay. But I ask you this: why don't you just do it your way? And what do you want? Ask yourself that question. What do you want? What do you need to work on? What do you need to work on within yourself? And what support do you need? We have things that we want to do in life. So I'm not saying that that you shouldn't pursue your life goals. Hell no. You absolutely should pursue life goals. It's kind of what we need as human beings. We need something to work towards. Even the hunter-gatherers were working towards something, eating. So we need it as a basic human need. So have the life goals, but accept that it's going to look differently. Especially if you're at a certain age right now. If you're somebody who's in their 30s, expecting to find someone within the next year or so that you can have a bit of a relationship and then settle down, just be mindful that it might not look that way. But that's okay. With kids, totally, clock is ticking. I understand that, and I'm not bypassing that at all. But it's a different world that we're living in. Is it possible to consider children in a different way? Is it possible to go to a sperm donor? Is it possible to freeze your eggs? Is it possible to adopt? What is it that you want from kids? Now, talking about children is a very deep topic, and I do recommend you talking to a professional about it, talk to a coach or a counselor who can help you through that, to get to those answers, because obviously it's life. But it doesn't have to be the way we picture it to be in our minds. It really doesn't. And you can still get that happiness and joy if you choose to do it your way. So how are you going to do this? Obviously, I'm going to give you tips. I'm not going to just yap at you and not give you a sort of, a roadmap. So here's a little roadmap that you can use. First thing to do is to ask yourself really, really honestly, what do I want? What do I want right now, today? What do I want in my life? And be so honest with yourself. You're not sharing it with anyone. So just be totally honest with yourself. What do you want? Do not be ashamed of anything that you put down. Do not feel embarrassed. Do not feel ungrateful. Just put down whatever you want. And the reason why I say don't feel shame, don't feel guilt, don't feel embarrassed is because all of that is conditioning from your, how you grew up, the experiences you've had, what you see that your friends have got, your family have got, things like that. So to ask yourself, what do I want takes a lot of courage to be really honest and just say so. If you really, really want a partner because you want to cuddle on the sofa at the end of the workday because you're single and your whole life is independent and single and you just want someone there, write that down. Reflect on your life, okay? Within this I'm still in point 1 with the what do I want. Reflect on your life. Reflect on your life to see if you're doing what you need to be doing in order to have what you want. If you're saying, oh, I really, really want a partner, but you do not take the opportunities that are presented to you when they are presented to you, you're saying to yourself, I want it, but I can't be asked. Baby girl, if the man would magically appear, we'd all be rubbing bloody genie bottles, wouldn't we? They don't magically appear. There is action required. Are you doing what you need to be doing in order to have what you want? If there's work you need to do on yourself, you know what your bad habits are. We all have them. We all have them. They don't go away. You just get better at recognizing them and managing them. But do you know those? Do you know what they are? Work on yourself. Second thing, carve out what you need to be doing or doing more of. Where should you be spending your time and energy? And who should you be spending it with? Who should you be spending it with? This is such a crucial point. You know I've been banging on about it in season 2 if you've been listening from the start. Who should you be spending it with? If the pandemic didn't teach you anything, it should have taught you who was important, who was worth it. Who are you spending your time with? Because I promise you there's science in it. You are the sum of the people that you are hanging around with. Check yourself. Check who you're spending time with, where you're spending your time and energy. You know, what are you doing? Are you doing too much for other people? Are you not doing enough for yourself? Are you spending too much time in front of the TV? Are you doing too much spending, like, you know, literally shopping sprees and stuff, and not doing more wholesome, fulfilling things? What are you doing with your time and energy? And who are you spending it with? The third and final point, cultivate an attitude of gratitude. This is so deep that if you cultivate a true attitude of gratitude, you will know in the deepest parts of you that you are going to achieve what you want. You see it in your mind, in your heart, in a vision board every single day. Meditate on it. Pretend that you're the cat that got all of her cream by being that person now. Be the person that you want to be in that future that you dream of. You know, I know that's a bit odd when it comes to having a partner, but imagine it. Imagine what it will feel like to have that partner. Imagine what Friday nights will feel like. Imagine what those weekends away will feel like. Really immerse yourself in imagining it. Because when you do that, you will, in your bones, in your tiniest muscles and vessels and nerves and everything, you will believe that it's already yours. You can't fake it though, right? So this isn't a fake it till you make it. I believe that I should have this. No, that's not how it works. You can't fake it. You've got to genuinely believe that it's yours. If you think in terms of, yeah, I'd like to have the man, but I know, but it's going to be, right. How's that going to work? Then you're not being assertive enough. You're not being assertive enough with yourself, and you don't actually believe that you deserve all of what you want. So you'll either settle for mediocre or you'll buy more cats. No offense to cat lovers. I adore them too, but you get the analogy. You've got to genuinely believe that it's yours, that you deserve to have that. It's kind of in that sort of space of self-worth that this is what I want. I don't know when it's going to turn up. I don't know what it's going to look like, but this is what I want. And what you do is you're training your subconscious mind to look out for it. You're training yourself to be the person that you imagine yourself to be with that man, so that when he turns up in Marks and Spencer when you're buying your sandwich, you're like, oh, I know you. you've been in my dreams. Hey! And it's a whole new world. Now, don't hate me for saying this, but the power really is in your hands. It is up to you if you want to follow the path of most resistance. It's up to you to feel like you're being pressured by society or loved ones. It's up to you if you think you'll be single forever, unless you decide to take back control of your life and make the choices that work for you, for what you want. What do you want? And keep doing the things that contribute to getting what you want, because it takes time, it takes consistency, it takes discipline, but you can do it. You know you can. You've already done so much in your life. You've achieved so much. You've been through so much. How amazing would it be to apply that same incredible spirit to what you want from life? And if you're thinking, yeah, I'm here for this, Puja, but how the hell do I start? Then I would like to invite you to have a 1 hour, totally free coaching experience with me. And in that hour, I'm going to show you exactly how you'll be able to have what you want. And you don't even have to hire me as your coach after the call. Just accept this invitation as my gift to you for being so supportive of my podcast. So what are you waiting for? Tap out of your podcast app, head to my website, PujaMcClymont.com, and book your call with me on the homepage. And I cannot wait to help you make what you want an absolute reality. Thank you for listening to the Self-Care 101 podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe, rate and review over on Apple Podcasts so that other people like you can find the show. For more information about the work I do, head over to my website, PujaMcClymont.com, and for daily inspiration, please follow me on Instagram at PujaMcClymont. Sending love and talk to you soon.